the only time that I have ever suspected that a convention was a scam.
Hey, you guys want to see what happens when you don't promote a boat show and no one knows you're having it? It's empty.
Can you believe I got all this for only $63?
Okay, so today we have another round of festivals and conventions that are either not worth the price, run extremely poorly, or just a straight up scam. It still amazes me how often this happens. There are so many different examples online being uploaded constantly, and because of that, we have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with some of the conventions.
This is the only time that I have ever suspected that a convention was a scam. It's also the only time I ended up crying alone at my booth. I've ended at about 30 events this year, and Anime Market Sacramento was my 9th and the worst. There were no attendees, point blank. There was no advertising for the show, there were no attendees. The artists all paid $250 to $1,500. These were also super widely spaced, people kept coming up behind me, it was weird. Turns out the con runner wasn't even in the country. This is just speculation, but it does seem that they took the money and ran. Except, I won my charge back. Turns out it's run by Doki Doki Anime Market in Singapore, and this owner has a track record.
So as you just heard at the end of that clip, it seems like this has become somewhat of a business. Organizing all of these conventions, being able to take a ton of money from vendors, I mean $250 to $1,500 per. And yeah, you could rent out a warehouse space for a day or maybe a weekend. Nobody shows up, the marketing is terrible, you pocket the money and on to the next one. I am glad that she was able to get her money back at the end of the day, but that doesn't happen too often. Many vendors and possible attendees that do show up just get their money taken from their wallet and they're completely screwed. I asked you guys in an older video, have you ever been to a festival or convention that you regret going to? Foodie Land was super hot and very crowded. Most of the food was indeed mid, tried out the pasta, which was okay, and the oysters, which were bad. We have our own little subsection about food in this video we'll talk about a little bit later. I went to a Harry Potter event in Austin, Texas. It was just a mile-long trail with speakers that had characters saying lines from the movie. There was mostly just gift shops and stuff like butterbeer, which was just overpriced caramel water. More local and casual events are looking like this lately. Overpriced goods, long lines, limited or poor parking makes you want to stay home. I'm not even attending our small town fair. Fairs used to offer good food at decent prices, but not anymore. Too expensive all around. Again, something we're going to talk about in this video. California State Fair in Sacramento 2025. Aside from the oppressive heat, the food and drinks were way overpriced. They were charging $10+ for non-alcoholic drinks that were just loaded with sugar. Beers were also $15, cocktails started at $20, $25 for bland barbecue sandwiches, $40 for the lukewarm bland ribs, $10 to $15 for a caramel apple. This one kind of hits close to home where I used to live. I went to a Latin food festival at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. For me, it was a waste of money, $20 to get in, and then you had to pay for parking on top of it. The food was mid, nothing special you could find any day of the week. I paid $6 for lukewarm Mexican corn. Never again. But we'll go back over to some of the conventions where almost all of the vendors are selling the same things.
At Rose City Comic Con today, and we are going to count how many booths have Labubus, Funko Pops, or 3D printed Slop. There is a vendor here in the exhibitors hall who sells fake Sunny Angels, and if you're a consumer, I don't care if you buy like fake merchandise. Does your money do what you want, boo? But I feel like if you are a vendor, especially in the exhibitors hall, you should be selling real, true merchandise. But I've seen her at 3 conventions. She pisses me off every time I see her. And I know they're fake because, one, I'm a Sunny Angel collector, so like I know what a real Sunny Angel looks like. But also, she's in the exhibitors hall and she has a no recording policy, which is just sus. Like, if you are reselling merchandise, why do you have a no filming policy? Like, that's just weird and a red flag to me. I hate her. I've seen her 3 different times. I saw her out of state too.
Okay, so a couple things here. If you're telling people that you're not allowed to record the booth while you're also selling fake items, I mean, how obvious can you really get? I don't know how she hasn't been reported to the people who organize these conventions. You're not allowed to sell fake items in general, and funny enough, I had no idea what Sunny Angels were in general, but the last video that I uploaded on my main channel talked about them, and then right after figuring out what they are, we're talking about them again, but somebody's selling fake versions of them. That's crazy. Along with, of course, all the other vendors just selling selling Funko Pops, Labubus, just the same crap. You could add in a bunch of AI slop, any of the 3D printed stuff. There are a lot of clips on TikTok like what's up on screen right now. Nobody bought this lady's AI slop for the entire 4-hour duration of this holiday market. Life is good. Another one here, Ultimate Rage Bait, being across from the AI slop at the artist market. Almost every single market and festival we've attended in the last 2 years is 70% MLM or AI. It's infuriating to the point where I'm afraid to buy any prints because I know I'm so bad at noticing AI, and don't get me started with the fake crochet. Now, keeping on the topic of selling fake merchandise, we have a wild example right here.
You won't believe it, but here's a scam inside of the Canton Fair or any expo you go to in China. Let me try to get a focus on that. So this woman here is selling scarves, but that is not her booth. So these are name brand scarves. I won't say what brands. They're designer scarves, but they're only 100 RMB. Another one here. Here's another one behind me. So what these people do is they take advantage of the end of the show, usually on the last day of any expo or fair, at around 1 to 2 p.m. The exhibitors have already started to pack up and they've gone home. So these guys will come out with for sale signs as if they're selling sample stock, and they're selling all these famous brands. I got fleeced at the Shanghai Beauty Expo last year because I thought I bought Dior perfume for 20 bucks, but it was a Dior perfume for 20 bucks, okay? So this is crazy. They literally find fake exhibitor badges. They come into the expo, they steal someone's closed booth, pretend to be a manufacturer, and then they will sell you fake designer goods as if they are the manufacturer for these companies.
And a comment from you guys goes very well with this clip. Turns out con isn't short for convention at all. That is crazy, the lengths that they'll go through to sell fake designer items and not even admitting it. At least if you go to Canal Street, you know all the items you're getting are fake. You don't really care if you're purchasing it. The seller obviously knows. But this one, they're trying to make it look like they're the original manufacturers of it. I got an ID badge and we're in a booth. That's just nuts. This is just hurting the entire convention scene as a whole, along with some of the ridiculous resale prices you're seeing.
I am never gonna buy an anime figure at a convention. This Egghead Luffy figure was going for $50. Meanwhile, the exact same figure is 1,500 yen or $10 on Suragaya. I understand these people have to make a living and get their bag, but they're not getting it from me. I'm sorry.
And I do understand that as well. If you have an item that's a little bit more desirable or maybe older, it's just rare, you'd of course sell it for a higher price. But if you could get this figure for a fraction of the price online, what's the point of buying it from one of these vendors? But we'll transition over to some of the county fairs with this comment from you guys. Even the county fairs are a joke nowadays. $15 for a sausage sandwich, $12 for an ice cream cone. What are they thinking?
This fair is absolutely mind-blowing. So I had to pay admission to get into the fair, plus parking. Then you had to buy the wristbands for unlimited rides. Then we go to get on to a ride and we're told that we don't have the wristband for the rides. And we're like, what? We bought unlimited. Apparently you have to buy 2 different wristbands because some of the rides are for one, some of the rides are for other. How is that unlimited?
Now, I'm not sure which state fair she's talking about, but one of them that's made waves recently is the Texas State Fair. That was just a mess. It was ridiculously expensive. I mean, there's a clip up on screen right now. This is how much I spent at the state fair. Just to park, it was $40. Admission, 2 adults and a kid, another 76 bucks. Tickets, $160 for 160 tickets. And that was the only way to purchase a lot of things at the fair. The strawberry lemonade was $6. Biscoff cheesecake was 16 bucks. Tornado potato, 10 bucks. Corn on the cob, another $10. Pineapple whip, $15. Quesadilla, another 15 bucks. Turkey leg, $22. Cotton candy, $6. And by the end of it, they spent over $400 for a single day at the fair. That is absolutely insane to me. $411 to walk around and eat some food. All these prices are why people aren't going anymore. $40 to park, $15 for ice cream. This is why I stopped going to the state fair. $76 for just tickets. And that's why, again, there are a lot of clips like this on social media. The fair on a Friday night, actual concern. Basically, nobody's there. It looks like a ghost town. Another example right here, 2025 Texas State Fair during the day. Looks like nobody is there. Here we have an example of one of the holiday events that definitely did not seem to be worth it. 3 hours to get in and another 2 hours to get out. This was at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You were able to drive around the track. There was a whole bunch of light up snowflakes and trees, but honestly, it doesn't doesn't look that great, especially for how long it took to get in. On top of the next clip, each car was 50 bucks. Buses were 175 to see that. I'm not gonna lie, that does not seem worth it to me. But now we'll head over to some of the food examples.
Hey, can you believe I got all this for only $63? This is a steal.
So that was recorded at the last SEMA event, 63 bucks for 2 sandwiches. I mean, I get it. If you're at a very big event or a high traffic area, the barrier to get in is going to be very expensive. I mean, we could take a look at this example.
We've been hearing you think prices are a little steep at Union Square Holiday Market. Here's why. So the cost of entry for vendors is
$20,000 minimum.
For me, it costs about $22,000 just to be in this space for 6 weeks. On top of that cost, the space comes bare bones. We have to hire a contractor and buy all of the materials to build out our little mini restaurant in 2 days. And then on top of that, most vendors, small businesses are renting a commissary kitchen where you pay rent there to use the kitchen, pay rent for storage space, dry storage, freezer space, and refrigerator space. But what makes it worth it is you'll find unique vendors making one-of-a-kind, delicious, handcrafted, house-made food that you can't find anywhere else.
Okay, so I bet that the food is pretty good, but her talking about people complaining that the prices were steep, along with any of the clips that they showed in the video not actually showing the prices of all the food and drinks that they were selling, is never a good sign. I don't know how $22,000 is worth it for 6 weeks, but whether your food is good or not, those prices in this economy is just going to push a lot of people away. I mean, we have another example here, pretty crazy one. The ridiculous food prices at EDC. 6 empanadas for 50 bucks, 10 taquitos for 50, and 10 normal tacos for 70 bucks. A whole pizza being $96 after tax, you're talking $100. Sushi platter, 6 rolls, $100 again. And one of the comments from this video makes a very good point. Notice how empty their stalls are. $100 for pizza is actually insane. And we also have another comment from you guys here. There's also farmers market scams where they buy wholesale veggies and fruits and upsell them saying it's organic. We've gone over that in an entire dedicated video on this channel. But regardless how much these vendors pay for their locations, if the prices are too high, people are just not going to show up and purchase.
I'm at this market right now that I paid $300 for the table, and it is currently 4 out of the 5 hours in, and I've made $120. So I'm not gonna make the amount of money that I paid to be here back, because there's like nobody here and it's not my demographic. But what can you do?
Honestly, I used to love markets. Now they're filled with 3D printed junk and they don't feel worth going to. Even the creator responds, "I saw so much Temu stuff, it drives me crazy." Too many markets, too many people monetizing hobbies, too many people reselling Temu items. I used to love doing markets and going to them, but it's too hard to find good ones. But we'll go over to this next example with the opposite problem happening. There were so many people that showed up to this and it was very poorly run that it was basically a complete waste of time.
This is Panda Fest yesterday, so this is the line. We showed up about 5:45. Our tickets were for 6 p.m. When we arrived, the parking situation was a complete nightmare. I think they had a total of 3 parking decks that were jam-packed full of people. They had no one directing traffic. And yeah, it was like a free-for-all. So once, after an hour of sitting in traffic, we finally got to park. We walked down a quarter of a mile or so to find this line that you're seeing.
So the whole rest of the clip is him just walking down the entire line, waiting a little bit and realizing that they're not getting in. They just left. Complete waste of time and money. Apparently the fire marshal shut down the entire event as well because so many showed up. Just another example of organizers and promoters getting way over their head. And at least for this specific event, we've gone over it before. Panda Fest, where I'm not going to lie, the prices of the food that you could could get there were off the charts. It really didn't seem worth it to me back then, along with having to wait in that kind of line, but we could go over to the comments. All the food events that I've been to in Charlotte were disappointing. Poor management, super long lines, and overpriced food. There you go. I'm all about supporting local businesses, but this was just not worth it. Promoters, in quotations, for these types of events are just hustlers who don't know what they're doing and trying to make quick, dirty money. We went today, paid for tickets to get in, paid for the overpriced food, and very crowded. Very small venue, nothing for kids. We left and went to a Chinese restaurant. We have another example from you guys right here. I love ice cream. I made the mistake of going to an ice cream festival. While standing in line for my third tiny scoop of ice cream, it dawned on me that I'm an adult, and if I wanted to spend a weekend eating 10 real scoops a day at 10 different places, I could do that anytime I want without all the nonsense. And especially with the prices they're charging for these events and festivals, I would say you'd probably do cheaper on your own.
If anybody has given money to Witches Brew LLC to book an event as a vendor, get your money back now. It's a scam. Their next event, called Carnival de la Lune, is listed as being at the Heritage Museum OC, which has no listings for that day, September 6th, for this company, and in fact, does have a different event booked. So, please, don't work with them. Get your money back.
I know I put a lot of different types of examples in this video, but I could have put this same situation over and over again for the entire length. That's how common these scams are becoming. Their coordinator is so unorganized. I did an event with them in 2021 and it was awful. They offered to credit me an event or give me a partial refund and I never got either. Haven't done an event with them since, heard tons of nightmare stories from others.
I swear to God, everyone needs to start complaining to their state attorney general's offices about these BookCon events that people keep on getting absolutely scammed at this year. Because first it was A Million Lives book festival. That was freaking insane. I mean, I would have complained to the Maryland Attorney General's office the second I didn't get my refund. That was crazy. Then it was the one at the Gaylord here in DC as well. Or I think the National Harbor might be in Maryland. And then this Romance Con one that now I'm seeing on my TikTok, like, this is crazy. And it's like so sad to me because it's primarily like women and authors that are getting scammed out of their like hard-earned money, which is really, really sad and just like frankly awful.
Yet another niche at these conventions with a ton of scams. I would say particularly the romance and fantasy genres have seen quite a bit of these types of problems. And I mean, I can make these videos showing different examples. Tons of other people could share their stories on social media, but it kind of just looks like it will keep happening. I have a couple other examples right here. This one's a very odd one. Tourists claim scam over India's artificial snow patch mountain. I don't really know what they were expecting here, but rather than natural snowfall, the area had patches of artificial snow with visitors renting gear and taking photos, making it look like they're in the Alps or something like that. Manali does not receive snowfall throughout the year, and citizens noted that tourists should check details before visiting. Oh man. And we got another one here, short and sweet, with an empty boat show.
Hey, you guys want to see what happens when you don't promote a boat show and no one knows you're having it? It's empty. It's only 2.5 more hours of this nonsense.
Now, I don't doubt that the promotion was probably really bad, but again, with this economy, I don't think too many people are going out and buying boats. So having a whole parking lot full of these boats, I don't know how many customers you're really gonna get, but either way, just a giant waste of time and money. But we could go over to another classic, the water lantern festivals.
Honestly, I wish it was clickbait. It isn't. This is the biggest scam I've ever attended. Just take one look at their website or social media and here is the experience that we had versus what they advertise. I'll tell you what we got. We got a kit that was missing parts, so my partner had to go back and get another kit. We got one pen. They advertised unique stalls, loads of food vendors with a barbecue shack. And this is the price that we were paying.
There are a ton of examples I've seen with these lantern festivals being a scam. Another one kind of similar to that up on screen. What we were expecting seems like a concert with a whole bunch of candles, looks really nice, versus what we got. Something not nearly as nice, but I bet it still cost a pretty penny to get into that venue. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.